What you leave behind, artistically speaking or in any kind of way, never really disappear, and this part of you isn't going away. It's always here. If you are watching this video in 2022, around the time of its release, in 2024 because it was in your recommended section, in 2040 searching on this weird obscure character from a decade ago, or if you're just looking back at this dream you once had, thinking of what could have been, if you're watching this, it means I'm still here. And this video is for you.
Following the success of Spider-Gwen, Marvel made a short event where comic book artists would draw alternative version of Gwen Stacy for alternative comic book cover. This led to multiple versions of the character being made, but out of all those versions there was one that stuck out of the bunch, spawning fan art and cosplay based on the character. This version was a pink looking Deadpool with no pants floating in a pool. Seeing the success the character got only by its design, Marvel decided to introduce Gwenpool in the Howard the Duck comic to see the reaction of the reader. And people liked the character. This Deadpool-esque character that made over-the-top joke and that was a failure at crime fighting was a lot of fun to watch. People liked the character, so Marvel gave the character a series in the all-new, all-different lineup of comic. And here was born the unbelievable Gwenpool. A character that literally took step after step into existence because of the love and support of the fans. Gwenpool's real name is Gwendolyn Poole, and she is a Marvel fan from our world that got transported into the Marvel universe. When she realized where she was, she decided to get a costume because in the world of comic, only superhero matters. The extras are just background character and she isn't going to be an extra to someone else's story. But even with a suit, it doesn't mean you have the power or money. So she decided to become a bounty hunter, beating up bad guy and making money doing so. She even got a friend hacker after stopping a bank robbery. The Marvel life seems good. And seeing her story progress above one chapter, she knew that she was probably in her own comic book run, making her the protagonist of a multiple issue story. She was going to be invincible. Until a job went wrong and her friend was killed by a D-list villain and she was forced into becoming his goon. Now she needs to find a way to get out of this situation and become a worthwhile hero in the Marvel universe. This is more or less the premise of the story. It started as a comedy series that critiqued Kate's story on a meta level, but as the story goes on, we come to learn more about who she is and the dark reality of being a comic book character. If Deadpool breaks the fourth wall, Gwenpool is stuck behind the fourth wall. Gwenpool is a character that means so much to me. The story the character tells is one that speaks, no, scream to me. It's not about a hero that tragically goes through a character-defining moment. Well, it is, but not one like other heroes. It's just the story of someone that have a hard time finding her place in the world, who feel like she wanna run away and use superhero comic as an escape from the mundane nature of her life. And goddamn does this feel familiar. It's not that my life is bad or anything, but it can still be hard sometimes, especially when faced with hardship of life. And comic, games, and anime were always a thing that helped me out. She isn't doing well at school, struggled getting a job, only want to play games and read comic, and use Marvel as an escape. I can see so much of me in her, and I think to some extent we can all understand how she feels. I know what it's like not being able to succeed in school, or wanting to become a writer, struggling with jobs, or wanting this world of fantasy to be real. And eventually it happens to her. She becomes part of the story she loves so much. It's not how she expected it to be. Even if she always wanted to be a hero, always wanted to be part of this world, knowing it's all fiction, she clearly didn't have the mindset of a hero. Gwenpool started not caring about anything in the Marvel universe. To her, background character don't matter, as they're just extras to the story. After all, she is the main character, and in any media, no one cares about the extras. We don't care about the background characters, so she don't care about them. She doesn't care about the people superhero are supposed to protect. She thought being a hero, wearing a suit gave her a plot armor, and it did. If you are the hero of the story told, you're doomed to never die. But people around her can, and her first friend in the Marvel Universe is killed. And later, even worse start to happen. Gwen isn't like other heroes. Captain America fights Red Skull, Superman fights Doomsday, Batman fights Joker. Gwenpool? Her battle is a lot different. Sure, she battles Doctor Doom and other bad guys, but what she truly does is fight for her place in the world. This world, trying to find where she matters, where she can reach her dreams. Captain America will never end. Spider-Man will always be rebooted. But Gwenpool? Who the hell is Gwenpool? Who cares? She have one run to make an impact on the reader, or she will go straight to the Disney IP vault lock away forever. And the difference between her and other heroes, what is truly sad, is that the character herself knows that. The further the story went along, the more she understood that becoming a hero, becoming what she always wanted to become, is turning to feel further and further out of reach. And that if she doesn't reach Marvel expected popularity, the character would be cancelled. She may beat the villain and save people, but in this world we live in, not everyone is destined for greatness. Not everyone can reach their dream. And as her story was about to enter an arc about how far you're willing to go to reach your goal, and she was presented with an evil future version of herself that claimed that being the bad guy was the only way to succeed, the story got cancelled. This story about the morality of your action versus those actions resulting in success was cut short because the story was about to get cancelled. With only a couple of chapters left, she rejected her dark future and chose to protect. She chose to care. She finally understood the value of people's life, fictional or not. She understood the value of everyone, even extras, and came to love the side character of her story. She finally became the hero she always wanted to be. But still, that didn't stop the countdown. A ultimate irony. She was fighting the darkest part of herself, choosing what was right, but still end up with the worst possible outcome. The writer and Gwen were giving about 5 issues to end her story, and now we get to see a hero fighting against a threat that is more real than anything any other hero ever fought. Cause the fact is, she really was getting cancelled. We see a hero fighting a battle that is already lost. Listen, we have to face the fact that sometimes our goals aren't meant to be. That no matter how hard you try, you can't always win. Gwen chose to be a hero and try to save as many people as she can doing so. But this is not the story of a hero or a villain, this is the story of someone doing her very best to live her best life. But no matter how hard she tries, sometimes it's not enough. But that doesn't mean you're worthless. I think it was a story worth telling. I love story of hero or simply people doing their best and be rewarding doing so. But this is for most people a simple fantasy, a better world than this one. Those stories are inspiring. They make you want to try your best, and they are a must to encourage young people to strive for what they are looking for. But what about the people who failed? The one that tried over and over and just couldn't make it? What do they get? Sure, there's plenty of story that ends in tragedy, where the hero lose everything, where their goal can't be reached. And even when they reach it, sometimes it leaves them disappointed and broken. Those are sad stories of complete failures. So, that's it. If you fail, it's done. Live in your own tragic world and live in failure? It's sad. Which is why I feel like the world needed this story. Not one of a dark knight sacrificing himself for the good of his city. Not one of a dark hero discovering she have the soul of a villain. Not one about a clown being destroyed by society. But the story of a girl that can wear the super suit, live in this marvelous world, beat ruthless bad guy, save the innocent, and make the world smile in doing so. A girl that have become a superhero every Marvel fan want to be, but still is deep down someone that is just like us. And that failed, like a lot of us. A girl that didn't lose fighting Thanos or Galactus or any other fictional threat, but fighting life itself. Being the hero, the good guy, the one that saved the day. Fighting the worst bad guys isn't the hardest part. What is harder is doing your best to be better, to be greater, and still fail. But that didn't stop her from fighting till the very end, using her last couple of issues to try her best to secure herself a future doing what she likes. Yes, she should be beating the strongest villain, fighting alongside the greatest hero. But instead, those last couple of issues were spent with this superhero coming to terms with her entire world and existence coming to an end. We see a superhero that knows damn well that her story is over and that she failed. And this feels different. It feels real. Much more real than I thought it would. Because as the number of issues, as the pages of her life started to run out, she started to worry about her friend, those made for this book and those changed by this story. For the first time I saw a comic book character cry about something that is real in our world and hers. Her story was really ending and there was nothing she could do about it but accept this reality. Baltrog the Leaper would eventually go back into being a joke Captain America villain, retcon into someone unrecognizable from who he is in this run, and the sidecast created for this book completely vanished out of existence, never to be seen again. Gwenpool came back, well, strike back, a couple of years later. But now she's gone. About 2 years has passed and she stayed in the vault. The girl that wanted to be the main character was nothing more than a forgotten extra that disappeared in the background. But still, she smiled in the end. Gwenpool is a character born from the love of the fans, a character inspired by the hero we all look up to, and changed by the comic book world that's been out of her control. She is a character that is affected by sale and rating, but that never compromised who she is. She was like us looking from the outside at this shared escapist universe built by hundreds of human creators over decades. Looking at this singular linked vision with admiration in her eyes. She was someone that learned to love and cherish her sidecast, someone that saw the extra, the unremarkable, and understood their value. She saw the one the superheroes are supposed to save as more than a plot device. And she was someone that cried at her cancellation, but waved us goodbye with a smile on her face, because she understood that no matter when you pick up that book, no matter when you start to read her story, it won't mean that she isn't truly gone. That if her story can put a smile on someone's face, even if it's only one person, that her story, that her life wasn't a mistake. And you need to understand that too. This failure, this extra, she is the Marvel superhero that could look past her panel and see her reality ending and try to inspire us till the end. The superhero that stands on the edge of her world with a smile, looking at us, the extras, the unremarkable, and tell us that we matters. You matter.
Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Too many things going on, I can't keep track of them all. From people dropping